Hi, this is Erling with Travel Trail Sale. I'm pretty excited today. I just finished installing this Arvika bike rack on the front of our travel trailer. And you can see I've got the bikes loaded up. We are ready for a fun summer of adventures, camping and bicycling. Today I'm going to share a little bit of information and some tips on installing the Arvika bike rack. I did learn a few things along the way putting that on. But before I do, I thought you might be interested in a little bit of the backstory on how it came to be that we chose this rack. So I'll make it brief, but I'm going to share a little bit of background and then we'll get into the tips for installing a bike rack. Now, we love having our bikes along. In some of our videos, you may have seen us bicycling in Huntington Beach State Park, down in South Carolina near Myrtle Beach, or in Delaware, going through Cape Henlopen State Park. Wherever we go, we love having our bikes along. It's just a great way to explore nature and get out and get some movement in. A lot of fun. And Judy and I bought this new camper last fall, a new Imagine camper, downsized a little bit, and it's working out well. We've taken it on several adventures, but we noticed how much we missed having the bikes along, so we knew we needed to get a rack. Well, of course, we had good luck with our Arvika rack on our last camper. We put one on our very first camper, used it for years, and then even moved it to our camper when we moved over to a Grand Design Transcend camper. It was time for a fresh one, and so we went ahead and got a new Arvika for our new camper. But we had really good luck with that one, and so we went with it again. Now, putting a rack on the front of your camper isn't the only way to bring bikes along. Just for inspiration, a while back I was exploring how can you bring bikes along, and I made a video 8 different ways to bring bicycles along when you go camping. So you might want to check that out, see the range of possibilities. Now, you could put a rack on the back of your camper, although on the highway it might bounce around a little bit more. I like the stability of having the rack on the front of the camper where it doesn't move quite as much. Or you might put a rack on your pickup. We do have a rack on our truck, but we like to have our kayaks on it and then use the bed of the truck to stow extra gear. So for us, the rack here on the front of the camper is perfect. But you have to watch weight. When you're loading up a camper, making sure the balance front to back is right. Because if you get too much weight in the back or in the front, you might find out that it's off balance and towing isn't very much fun. So I also did put a video together a while back on just a quick way to check your hitch weight to make sure you're not putting too much weight on the front of your camper. And so check that out too and see if, adding a little bit of extra weight to the front of your camper is appropriate for your situation. We did a couple of things on our new rack. We did opt for a couple of options. One are locks. Now, the system does come with one lock. We opted to get one for each of the bikes. That hopefully will give us a little more security. We'll also probably use a cable lock that goes through the frames and the tires just to make sure we're extra secure, but having that little peace of mind from a lock seemed like a good idea. We also opted to get the loading ramp system. Now, that mounts in between the 2 bike trays. I'll show you that. And then we can roll the bikes onto the rack versus lifting them. I can't wait to try that this summer, and we'll definitely, after we've had a chance to use it a little bit, let you know how that goes. But in terms of the install, if you're mechanically inclined, you do projects like this, it's not too bad. Couple of things though, that comes with an instruction manual, kind of like assembling IKEA furniture. It's got pictures and step-by-step instructions. Sometimes you have to do some interpretation on what exactly those pictures mean. And it does say that this project should take about 2 hours. I think that might be a little generous. You may want to allow some extra time, especially if this isn't the kind of project you do every day. So be patient with yourself, allow some time. A second pair of hands goes a long way. On a couple of the steps, you're lifting a heavy object into place, and so having a second person would be really helpful. And then I would just say don't tighten everything fully tight until you've had a chance to test it out, make sure everything's aligned the way you want, and then make sure to go back around and tighten everything down so it's all secure. Finally, when you're actually out on the road, bring along a couple of tools just in case things get loosened up bumping down the highway. Now, we've never encountered that problem with an Arvika rack in the past, but you just never know, so be prepared. Well, let's go ahead. We'll walk through some of the step-by-steps and some of the tips that I learned. Then I can share with you some things that might help you as you install an Arvika rack. As we get started on the install, here's just a few tool tips. When you're installing the base unit, I'll show you that in a minute, the bolts are pretty long, and so a typical ratchet isn't going to fit over them. They extend out below the camper. And so, you could use a wrench like that to do those, because then it doesn't really matter how long the bolt is. But if you want to make the job a little bit easier, just get a deep socket ratchet. That'll fit over the bolt, and you can pretty quickly turn it on. It'll make your job a lot easier. You'll also need to make sure that the base units are installed the appropriate distance apart, and so some form of a tape measure or other measuring device, I think it was 22.5 inches, so you want to have some level of precision to make sure those are spaced out accordingly. And finally, the end caps. They're pretty tight to put on, and I kind of just ran a screwdriver through the channel in them just to gently loosen them up, so that you want to be careful you don't break them, but just kind of gently open them up, and then tapping them on with a rubber mallet. Just gently give them a little tap, helps them go on much easier. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the tips for doing this install. The first step in installing your Arvika bike rack is to install the base supports. And they'll have 2 bolts that go right onto your A-frame. You might have limited places where you can put them, so find the best place for you. Ours happen to be right between the sway bar brackets and where the battery case goes. On the other side of our A-frame, there's a series of wires, and so we had to make sure we installed them without interfering with the wires. You want to make sure that they aren't bound or chafing or impacted in any way. So just find a place where you can put them in, and there might be a little slack in those wires. You could adjust them a little bit, but that's what you need to do, is put those in with 2 bolts. As I mentioned, those bolts extend down pretty far, and that's where that deep socket wrench comes in handy, so that you can make quick work of tightening those bolts on. Once your base supports are in, you're going to install the second support. Now these are 2 curved bars you'll put in, and you can see on ours the curve is away from the camper, which gives us a little extra space, a little clearance between the rack and the camper, but also makes sure that front to back the distance is the right distance for installing the support bars on the front of the travel trailer. Before you put those in, you're going to install these brackets on the top. Now they go in with 2 screws, and there's a track here, or channel, and the holes are pre-drilled in 4 places around that tube. So what you're going to want to do is, again, figure out the curve, screw that in, but don't tighten it yet, because you may need to adjust it side to side a little bit before you fully tighten it in. I was mentioning earlier, we just want to lightly tighten things in until we know exactly how they're all going to be positioned. Once those are in place, you can put on the main support for the rack, and it holds these trays or gutters, right? So what we're doing is putting on the main base, but that base is actually this whole tube, and it goes up and includes all of the top as well, where your top bars are going to be installed. So that's where having a second pair of hands could come in handy, because you're going to need to put that into the brackets here in 2 places. Once you guide that into place, it's held by 2 things. a bolt that goes through the bottom, and that actually goes through here with a series of, the bolt goes through, and then there's a washer, and then the tube, another washer, finally another washer, and then the head of the bolt. And so you're screwing those in, but you actually have to hold the washers in place. So again, second pair of hands to load and do that part is helpful. And then there's a pin at the top. And that pin is there so that you could actually adjust the positioning of the rack if you ever needed. You could drop that top down. So we'll go ahead and put that piece in, get the bolt and the pin in. I actually suggest putting these support bars on before you do that. It's pretty simple install. They have two brackets, one on either side of your jack. And then these bars, it's a tube inside of a tube that has a bolt that tightens it in here with a handle on it. And so put those in because, again, they will just sort of fall to the side for now, but then you can make sure that the spacing front to back is what you want. You don't have to tighten them in yet. Once that rack base is on though, then you'll put on a little plastic holder, the bolt goes through it, and you can tighten it down. And that provides a lot of extra weight support to the front, especially if you have heavier bikes. Having a system like that is really helpful. Those are adjustable, so again, depending on the length that you need, you just get them fit to your situation and then tighten them in. Once the main bike rack component is installed, you can start to add the bike trays or gutters. We have two of them, one for each bike, and you can see we have bike wheel stoppers in place, helps keep the bikes in place. Installing these is pretty simple. There's a plastic bracket that clips on over the tube. As we come on down, we see that that's just simply bolted in. The rack that's a little farther back, we have put through a metal tab that's there, or you can simply just use the two plastic clamps that they provide. You can also see the bottom here of the wheel stopper is also installed there. And on the end of our trays, I mentioned we have that bike ramp, we've installed those. Now each of those bolts, the head of it just goes into this channel underneath, slide it in, and then tighten it up. So you won't want to put the end caps on until after you've installed any components that you want to put in. As I mentioned, the end caps can be a little bit tight, so you just start wiggling those in from the bottom and guide them in. And then I do find a tap with a mallet helps make sure that they're fully installed. Just gently tap. In between are two bike gutters. For the two bikes, you can see we've installed the ramp. And that ramp system depends on your situation. Ours was able to be installed right in between the two. And when you get to your site, you just take those off to roll the bikes down the ramps. There's a little clamp here that it holds into. That's where it secures at the top. And then the two parts come together to form a ramp down to make rolling the bike off easy. The last part we had to add are these top bar supports. It's really simple. There's just, again, a plastic clamp that goes around the tube, a very long bolt that goes through each of those, and then there's a clamp that goes around the tube of your bike frame. We found those upgraded ones from Arvika. They came up with a newer model a couple of years ago. It's almost kind of rubbery inside, gently holds the bike but securely. And then we've got those locking clamps on the end. When the key is in, you can move it into a position where it can turn, or you can turn it so that it'll just spin in place without actually moving. Now, you can see how we've separated those out. I put the smaller bike on the inside. Typically a woman's bike frame or any smaller bike would go on the inside, and then the longer one goes out to the bigger bike you might have. Those are adjustable side to side, so you need to test fit to see where you should place yours. Thanks for joining me as I shared some tips for how to install an Arvika bike rack. Now, in addition to those tips, if you do run into an issue, just reach out to Arvika. I've found that they're pretty responsive. You can ask a question, share a picture of what you're encountering, they'll get you set straight. So they're very helpful, good customer support. Of course, you could always leave a question or a comment here on YouTube. I'll try and answer it, and sometimes our community chimes in as well. So comments, questions, always appreciated. I'll do my best. If you decide that an Arvika rack is right for you, we liked them so much we became an affiliate. All that means is we have a discount code we can share for you. If you use Travel10, you can save 10% on your order. Of course, as an affiliate, we earn a little bit to keep the channel running as well. So if you decide to order, go ahead and use Travel10 and save 10%. If you found this video helpful, there's one way you can give us feedback. Give it a like. That lets us know that you're enjoying the content. And if you decide you like what we're sharing, join our journey. Subscribe to the channel. We love having you along and appreciate when we have new subscribers. So thanks for that. Look forward to seeing you again real soon. Thanks.